Hi guys, welcome back to Chaz's No Bullshit Reptile Advice, episode 1,543,327.5. Today's question is from Michael Jorisson. I just started keeping Woma pythons and watching your YouTube video on them pushed me in their direction. I absolutely love the 2 5-month-old I have and wanted to thank you for that. Well, you're more than welcome, Michael. I'm glad you're enjoying them. They are taking mice and was wondering when there was a good time to start offering them rats or if I should wait. Thanks again. I really appreciate your channel. Well, Michael, we appreciate support. Thank you very much indeed. This opens up a wider question which I thought was important to answer, and it isn't just about your Womas. It's about transitions, getting the sizes, and my advice would be, if you're going to keep a boid in particular, who sometimes can trip up with the changeover from mouse to rat, the biggest exponent of this is carpet pythons, bar none. And we get a point where they love mice, but getting them to take rats is a royal pain in the ass. And they just do not want to transfer over as hard as we try to help them. It's an absolute nightmare. So my advice would be to all keepers of boids that we have got rats down to rat pup size, and which is the equivalent of a small mouse. If we have got Womas that are 5 months old, they should have banged a bit of weight on by now. More than likely they're taking fuzzies or small mice already. I would be trying the rat pups, and I would be trying to establish them on rat pups immediately to try and stop any sort of trip up or fall off later in life. We are raising a number of carpet pythons in the shop at the minute, including caramels, caramel jags, Irian jayas and Irian jay cross coastals. And the minute that I believe that they can take a pup without a problem, they will be on pups. Because if I raise them up onto adult mice, then try and make the transition to weaners, at least half of them will shit the bed and stop feeding. It's just what they do. It's most pronounced with carpets. And to my knowledge, Womas, as with blackheads, asperities, are non-problematic feeders once they have started. Generally, they feed a bit too well and people make them a bit too fat. But carpet pythons are famous for it. So I'm kind of going to Shanghai your question and apply it to other stuff. If you're going to end up with a snake that eventually eats rats, the sooner you make the transition to rats, the better. Also, there is something to be said for, say, a weaner being a younger, more virile animal, is growing on, might have better fat stores, or a broke down old ex-breeder mouse. I think I'd prefer to feed it the weaner anyway. It's the younger, healthier animal. So that's kind of my take on it. I know that that's a bit simplistic, and that someone will come on and argue the toss, but that's my first initial take. On that, I would definitely always try and use the rats. I mean, the only time that we vary away from that is when we have a species that likes a specific diet or has a particular hankering for the mammals from their country of origin. The biggest example of this is ball pythons or royal pythons, who want to take multi-mammoth mice, gerbils, hamsters, and they are harder to get hold of, they're more expensive, and in on brutal honesty, they can be a pain in the arse to source and a lot more expensive. So we will try every trick in the book to keep them on rats, because it's easier to give them rats, it's easier to procure rats, and it's cheaper to use rats rather than the more expensive African species. But sometimes you just can't avoid it, and you've got an animal that's fasting and it's been a protracted period and it's beginning to chew on you that it's not eating, and so you use something different. The problem is sometimes when you make that segue into multis or gerbils or hamsters, then they won't go back onto rats, and that's where your problems exist. And this is kind of the problem we have with the mouse to rat transition with certain pythons, as discussed, particularly carpets. Womas I can't see being a huge issue, but I would be moving on to rats ASAP as just part of the animal's development. That's my take on it. They don't really need any scenting. They turn their food around pretty quick and they grow at a very respectable rate. Actually, they put on size very well, but it is easy to make your Womas overly chunky, so watch that. So I hope that's of use, Michael. Thank you for using the channel and picking a Woma based on some of our advice. That is incredibly flattering, and you know, I consider that a feather in my cap, being able to help you and help any of you. So keep checking back. We'll keep the episodes coming. And remember, we need your questions, your input, your queries, your thoughts. Even if it's not something you directly want answering for yourself, but you think it would be useful to our community to answer a question, post it so that I can at least give it a go answering the question for you. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon.